I'll try to be like the Dan Rather of Zoom here. Siannah, tell us about your campaign. Tell us what you're standing for, what the big issues for you are going into looking for support for the Board of Trustee.
Well, the big issues, I think we all agreed on this based on the last article we had, was like the main item on the agenda is to hire a new president. And during that process, currently, I mean, you voted on it last meeting. I was there, where they hired the what should we call it, the agency that's going to do the recruitment for the board, and I like the fact that they're doing a community involvement and having members from the community participate in the process to ensure that it's a well represented leader for our community. I also want to make sure that we work on the recruitment and retention of more minority students, because as a alumni and Afro-Latina, I understand those issues of like being a first generation college student and the struggles of having to choose to eat versus books. So I'm grateful to the things that David did, like the Warrior Pantry, that is very helpful for students that are struggling and are single parents going through college. I also want to make sure that I just sit down with all the constituents and figure out how we could better assist them as board members along the process during the possibility of going back to college and opening up according to, the medical authorities or whoever decides to reopen at the chancellor's office. So it's a smooth transition for everyone, and we could benefit from those beautiful buildings you guys, the bond oversight committee worked on so hard.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, how about you, David? What are some of your strong priorities and when you're out there meeting the voters, some of the things that you're talking about?
Well, Siannah hit a bunch of them, and I mean, I was on the foundation, and this is kind of a logical next step when Mary told me she was thinking about retiring, that she wanted me to run for her seat. I've been thinking about it for a long time, so I had a list of what I wanted to do, stuff that we've done on the foundation, like continuing the Warrior Pantry and all that stuff that I want to do at El Camino. And then disaster struck, and now there's a list of things that we need to do. Siannah already hit on, we need to replace Dr. Maloney, unfortunately, is retiring, so we need to find someone to fill that seat. We need to figure out how to safely reopen. We need to figure out how to deal with impending budget doom. The state budget is clearly in a really terrible place, and that's gonna fall right on our shoulders, and we're gonna have to figure out what to do. So finding that president that's going to be able to guide us through some really tough waters is going to be important, and being able to independently, thoughtfully figure out how financially we're gonna move forward, I think is really important.
Yeah, and I'll pick up that thread on the presidential search. So I guess we had a board meeting, was it this week? Wow, my weeks are running into each other. So
Yeah.
For a lot of people who don't know what the process is, so the board met in late October, and we selected a presidential search firm, and that's going to help us with getting the word out, putting a requisition or a statement of work together, and starting to recruit. And so we anticipate that lasting until maybe February, getting January maybe, getting the candidates in, and then we start the selection process. And so we did form a selection committee, and it's made out of all the constituents of the district. So we have, faculty, staff, students, members of the community, administration, and so they'll do their work. Eventually, they'll recommend a slate of candidates, if I can even use that word anymore, but maybe 3 to 5 candidates, depending on how much time we have, to the board, and then the board will do their final selection. So that's in general how the process for those who are watching this will work. So for me, that's a big deal. Obviously, the budget, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop with the budget. There's been some deferments out of Sacramento that will probably turn into cuts come January. They really come March, but you can't just wait till March to do these cuts. So we're looking at those kind of cuts and savings and cost savings on the community at the community college. And obviously diversity is a big issue as well. And so as people are talking about what our campus looks like, making sure that the faculty and staff that serve our students look like the district that we serve. We want to make sure that we're intrusive as a board member. We want to make sure we're intrusive in that process. So those are some of the big things that I'm doing. But yeah, like Siannah was saying, I can't wait till the 3rd to get here. So